All right, folks, welcome back to baseball here. Technical difficulties. We did lose internet here for about 10 minutes. Bottom of the fifth inning, the Oilers have runners on second and third. 2 outs here. Josh Schwer, leadoff hitter, in for the Oilers. Cam Johnson had a single, and Troy Merriman walked. Kevin Schrock then advanced the runners with a sac bunt back to the pitcher for a 1-3 putout. Josh Schwer behind in the count here, 0-1 on a foul tip back into the screen. Bottom of the fifth inning, Oilers trail 2-0. The Oilers have 3 hits on the day and 1 error. Strike on the inside part of the plate there. 0-2 count. Here's a line drive to right field. Right fielder going back on it. He's not going to be able to make a play. This is going to score 2 runs. Josh Schwer with his speed is going from home plate to third base in a hurry. That's a nice job of base running there by Josh Schwer. Josh Schwer with a triple. Tied the ball game up. That ball was hit hard right over Scott's head out in right field. They had to run the double cut to get Josh in.
Great hit there. Beats the right fielder with the deep ball and the second triple of the year for Schwer. Oilers played 2 runs on the play. This ball game is now tied at 2-2 with Logan O'Hara at the dish and Josh Schwer just 90 feet away.
There's a ball in the dirt. Go ahead.
Sorry, Joe. Big turn of momentum here in the top of the 5th inning. You now can hear the Oilers dugout has come alive. Big triple is going to do that.
Swing and a miss there from Hara pushes the count to 1-1. Kyle, you wonder if with a 2-2 game, if Kennedy's going to come back out here. He's pitched a good game so far, but now that we're back in it tied.
He has pitched well so far, and they had the bullpen going before that last inning ended. But only at 78 pitches, so I would expect him to at least come out and get a few more outs, maybe go through the bottom of the 5th.
On deck for the Oilers is number 14, Pete Jorgen. And that's a curveball right over the heart of the plate. It's Logan Harris' 3rd strikeout of the day. Look back disapprovingly to the home plate umpire. However, the Oilers do score 2 on the Josh Schwer triple. Game tied 2-2 as we head to the bottom of the 5th.
Base coach is clapping his hands. Come on, baby, you the man. Get a hold of one and give it a ride to the stands. But look at that coach on the other side. He's touching his cap. He's rubbing his thigh. The third base coach is really my kind of guy. Well, that third base coach is giving them signs, waving them in with the game on the line. And everybody's looking around at the third base coach. Hitting the run, the steal, and the take. Look at all the moves he makes. You can't get along without the third base coach. Well, the pitching coach, he's a mighty fine guy. Just throw strikes, it'll be all right. And he sits on the bench right by the skipper's side. And the hitting coach, he teaches the stroke. Pick one out and give it a poke. But when you get on base, you gotta watch the third base coach.
Welcome back to baseball here.
Cause the third base coach is giving them signs.
Bottom of the 5th inning, Oilers and Marauders tied at 2-2. And Kyle, like you had talked about earlier,
I apologize there. Sorry.
Tyler Kennedy is back out on the mound here for the Oilers. First pitch to the designated hitter, Travis Stevens, is in the dirt. Travis is 0 for 1 on the day with a walk and a run scored. Fastball up at his eyes that he swings at and hits back over the Oilers dugout to push the count to 1-1. On deck here for the Marauders, Brad Meyer and Will Petner. One count here from Kennedy's ball in the dirt. Pushes the count to 2-1. Nice off-speed pitch there on the inside part of the plate. Gets Stevens to duck out of the way a little bit, but the count is 2-2. And there's a hard hit ground ball back up the middle that Kennedy has to jump out of the way from. Nice piece of hitting there from Travis Stevens to get a single back up the middle.
Yeah, Joe, he was all over that pitch from Kennedy. Absolutely drilled it back up the middle. And the Marauders look like they have an answer brewing here in the bottom of the fifth.
So that brings up Brad Meyer. Brad, the third baseman, 1 for 1 on the day with a single and a walk. He also did score the Marauders' first run back in the third inning. Bottom of the fifth inning, score is tied 2-2. It's ball high. Oilers getting both of their runs in the the top of this inning. Marauders got runs back in the third and the fourth. So 2-2 here. 1-0 count here from Kennedy. And a nice fastball there and a swing and a miss. Gets the count to 1-1. All right, folks, back again. For the third time, I believe, is what we're back for here. Those of you just joining us, we lost internet a little bit earlier. We just lost power on the computer. Bottom of the fifth inning here. Leadoff hitter Travis Stevens is the designated hitter. Had a hard single back up the middle. Second batter of the inning, Brad Meyer, just hit a sharp double down the left field line, and that's going to be the end of the day for Tyler Kennedy. Tyler is responsible for the 2 runs that are on base here. Pitching coach Brian Mikowski making a change, bringing in number 44, Eric Schran.
Well, I beat the drum and hold the phone. The sun came out today. We're born again. There's new grass on the field. Around the third and headed for home. It's a brown-eyed, handsome man. Anyone can understand the way I feel. Oh, put me in cold. I'm ready to play today. Put me in cold. I'm ready to play today. Look at me. I can be center field. Well, I spent some time in the mudfield night, watching it from
All right,
the
folks, back
field.
to baseball here. Eric Schran now on the mound for the Oilers. Eric's a 5'10" sophomore out of LaSalle High School, Cincinnati, Ohio. Runners on second and third here for the Marauders. 2-2 game in the bottom of the fifth. Again, this is a 9-inning game. We are only playing one game against Marion today for varsity. There will be a JV game shortly after this game. Now up for the Marauders is number 24, Will Petner.
We got a pinch hitter. It's number 16.
16, Clay Bassingthwaite. First pitch from Strand is a ball. Second pitch, however, they're in there for a strike, pushing the count to 1-1. Infielders in on the corners at first and third. Another ball high from Strand, pushing the count to 2-1.
Last season, Strand pitched in 11 ball games, had a 1-0 record, pitched in 14.2 innings, walked 9 hitters and struck out 6, allowed 6 earned runs. Limited action for Strand last year, but entering the ball game here today looks like he may get a little more time this year as a sophomore.
High pop up there, and shortstop Kevin Schrock does a good job of keeping under it and handling the wind. He did have to dive back on it to get the first out of the inning.
Yeah, there we see the wind come into play. A routine pop-up to shortstop Kevin Schrock, who is running out towards the left field line, but has to come back and dive back towards second base to make the play. The ball got up in the wind, and he just wasn't ready. Haven't seen a lot of that yet this year. Again, this is the first time for the Oilers being outside this year. But Schrock does make the play, and we've got the out. However, a runner still 90 feet away.
Dalton Sauce up now for the Marauders. 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout and a fly out to center field. Again, runners on second and third here. Nice pitch there from Strand. Off-speed pitch right over the heart of the plate.
I'm trying to find a spot back here, Joe, where I can block the wind from the microphone, but it's tough. It is a windy day out here today. We've kind of mentioned all day. Now that flag out in right field going straight out to right.
Second offering there from Strand, swung on and missed through by number 6, Sauce. Infielder's still in the dirt. Nice job of Christian Smith going out to get that fastball that was high and away. Infielder is in at the corners. Stevens on third, Meyer on second base. One down here in the inning. On the day for the Marauders and 4 for the University of Findlay Oilers. There's a hard drive to left field. Pete Yorgan comes in and makes a play, and Pete does a great job of coming in and hitting the cutoff man, Troy Merriman. Pete showing off his speed and his arm there. The runners do not advance. So 2 down now in the inning.
Yeah, that ball hit really well. Oilers fortunate that it was hit right at the left fielder, Jorgen. Otherwise, that would have been another 2 runs for the Marauders. But 2 away, and runners still out in scoring position at second and third base. We'll see if Strand can get out of this inning. Again, the runners on base are the responsibility of the starting pitcher for the Oilers, Kennedy.
Tom Imholt steps in here for the Marauders, takes a first pitch ball from Eric Strand. Second out now allows the Oilers offense, their infield, to take a step or 2 back. Merriman playing even with the bag. Johnson and Schrock up the middle playing back on the grass. Dellis playing a step or 2 back there at first. Josh Schwer out in center field playing a shade or 2 to his right. And there's a slow roller to Cam Johnson to second. Cam does a nice job arranging to his left and getting the put out to go 4-3. Marauders lead 2 runners on. Headed to the top of the 6th inning. Oilers and Marauders tied at 2.
Pack it in, let me begin. Pack in the wind, battle me, that's a sin. I won't ever slack up, punk, you better back up. Try and play the role and you're the whole crew will act up. Get up, stand up, come on, throw your hands up if you got the feeling. Jump up, touch the ceiling, monsters of bump up. Someone's fucking junk, yo, I'll bust them in the eye. And then I'll take the punks out, feeling funkin'. Amps in a trunk and I got more bombs in this cops at a Dunkin' Donut shop. Sure enough, I got pop from the kids on the hill with my mom and my pops. I came to get down, I came to get down. So get out your seat and jump around, jump around, jump around, jump around, jump up and get down. Jump, 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 jump. I'll serve your ass like John McEnroe. If your girl steps up, I'm smacking her home.
Back to baseball here. Mayhoff still on the mound for the Marauders. Any idea who the new first baseman will be, Kyle?
It's going to, yeah, that'll still be number 16 who came in to pinch hit. That is Clay Bassingthwaite.
Pete Jorgen up here for the Oilers now. First pitch strike there from Mayhoff to Pete Jorgen. Oh, 1 count here to Pete Jorgen. Pete takes the second pitch strike. So Pete immediately behind 0-2. Ball in the turf pushes the count to 1-2 here on Pete. Pete's 0 for 2 on the day. Kind of swing and a miss there from Pete Jorgen to record the first out of the inning.
And another strikeout for the Marauders starting pitcher.
It's the 8th strikeout of the game for the Oilers, brings up Mark Dulles. Ball inside there to Mark. As usual, I don't think we'll see a lot of fastballs here to Mark Dulles. Case in point, off-speed pitch he swings through, pushes the count to 1-1. One down here. Bottom of the 6th inning. There's a fastball on the inside corner of the plate. Wind shifts to blowing out the left center now. Mark gets under one. Pop up in the infield.
And Mayhoff, the pitcher, comes over to make the play. Normally the pitcher is just told to stay on the mound, but Mayhoff wants to make sure the play is made and runs over, catches the ball in foul territory, and there are 2 away here for Jordan Garcia.
Jordy 1 for 2 on the day with a sharp single and a strikeout. Jordy's single back in the 2nd inning. It went past the 3rd baseman. Jordy swings and misses at the first pitch here. Second pitch from Mayhoff is a ball on the inside part of the plate. It's a ball in the dirt. Good eye there from Jordan Garcia. Oilers have left front, 3 runners stranded today. There's a drive to right center field. Center fielder goes back by her. Deep ranging to his left and makes a nice job of tracking that ball down. It's a loud out, but the Oilers go 1-2-3 in the top of the 6th inning, score tied at 2.
Hello?
Where are you?
I'm going to the Oilers game, and why? What's up?
Did you forget about the 30-minute presentation we have due tomorrow in biology? We understand if you can't make it to the game. If that's the case, log on to athletics.finley.edu. There you'll find photos, box scores, recaps, and more about all of your favorite Oilers sports teams. athletics.finley.edu, bringing you all the excitement of Oilers athletics.
Yeah. We want it all, that's what we're chasing. We want it now, we've been working too much to be patient. Yeah, success to me is motivation. It's time to get it. This is one for Oiler Nation. This is one for Oiler Nation. This one right here is for Oiler Nation.
All right, back to baseball here. New first baseman for the University of Findlay Oilers, Pete Burkett. Pete is 6'4" sophomore out of St. John Jesuit High School. Number 10, Mason Schiff up for the Marauders. Mason had a single to right field in his last at bat. First pitch of the inning for righty Eric Schrand is a ball high. Foul ball back out of play here. There's the count to 1-1. Catcher Christian Smith going out to have a talk with Eric.
And Eric Schrand in the game now as a replacement for the starter Tyler Kennedy. Schrand entered the game last inning with 2 runners on base, did a fantastic job of not letting those runners reach home plate, and we still have a tie ball game at 2-2 after what could have been a disaster of an inning for the Oilers.
Pitching coach Brian Mikowski calling in the signals in the Oilers dugout to catcher Christian Smith. Ball high and tight. Mason Schiff does a nice job of getting one out of the way that was up near his ear hole. 3-1 count. No outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Score of 2-2. Nice comeback pitch there from Eric Strand. Gets the count to 3-2. Oilers have 2 runs on 4 hits and 1 error. The Marauders have 2 runs on 7 hits and no errors in today's game. Slow roller Kevin Schrock at shortstop. Kevin makes another error on the game. Runner is safe. That is another error for Kevin Schrock, his second of the day. Second error of the game for the University of Findlay Oilers. Is going to put a runner on first. Brings up center fielder Andrew Byer.
Yep, Schrock made an error on the first play of the ball game, and almost an instant replay here in the bottom of the 6th.
Andrews 0 for 2 on the day. Flew out to center fielder Josh Schwer. And struck out there in the 4th inning. Andrews swings through and misses on that one on a ball in the dirt. Nice job of Christian Smith recovering. Faking the throw down to first base. Third baseman Troy Merriman in on the grass.
Yeah, Byer there. Showed bunt, pulled back, and swung through. Shows bunt again here, but the ball in the dirt from Strand handled well by Christian Smith, and he fires to second base where Kevin Schrock slaps down the tag, and the Oilers a bit of a break here. Great work out of Christian Smith after a pretty poor pitch there from Eric Strand.
That was a good job by Christian Smith staying with it and being smart enough to throw down the second base to see if we can even get in a play on the play. And out on the play. And a swing and a foul tip into the glove of catcher Christian Smith pushes the count to 1-2.
And the runner on first there, Schiff, did exactly what he was supposed to do. Read the ball in the dirt and headed for second base, but Christian Smith just a little too quick and a hose down to second base for the out.
Kyle, that's got to be the Oilers' 4th or 5th pickoff of the year. I don't know the total number. Nice play of Cam Johnson ranging to his right, making the play. That's a put out 4-3. Cam did a nice job arranging, throwing over to new first baseman Pete Burkett. Good to see Pete get some action there, get his feet wet in this game. So 2 down in the inning now. Leadoff hitter Chris Scott had a single into right field in his last at bat. Reached on an error back in the 1st with a walk. Nice pitch there from Eric Strand off speed. Catches the outside corner of the plate. 0-1 here.
Chris Scott entered this ball game hitting .455. This is the 4th game in which he has started.
Foul ball back out of play. So Eric ahead 0-2 here. And Kyle, I've been impressed with Strand so far here in his 4 or 5 batters that he's seen so far.
Yeah, he's gotten a few breaks, but has done a good enough job at getting these Marauders hitters out to keep the score at 2-2 and giving his offense a chance to try and take the lead. Good work here by Strand. Hope that continues as we have 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th.
Strand sets and fires and come home, and fastball was high. It's a 2-2 count now. Merriman at third playing even with the bag, and a swing and a miss there from Strand. Got him on the off-spin pitch swinging. It's a 1-2-3 and a unique way to get it done for the Oilers. We head to the top of the 7th inning. Score tied 2-2.
The Whiz Kids had won it, Bobby Thompson had done it, and Yogi read the comics all the while. Rock and roll was being born, marijuana we would scorn. So down on the corner, the national pastime went on trial. We're talking baseball, Klazuski, Campanella, talking baseball. The Man and Bobby Fella, the Scooter, the Barber, and the Nuke. They knew them all from Boston to Dubuque, especially Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. Well, KC was winning, Hank Aaron was beginning, one Robbie going out, one coming in. Kiner and Midget Goodell, the Thumper and Mel Parnell, and Ike was the only one winning down in Washington. I'm talking baseball, Klazuski, Campanella, talking baseball. The Man and Bobby Fella, the Scooter, the Barber, and the Duke. They knew them all from Boston to Dubuque.
Oilers catcher Christian Smith leading off the inning here. Top of the 7th inning, Christian, it's a high pop up into the infield. The wind's going to make a play on this one, but that's a nice job of shortstop Sauce going back on it, running with the ball to make that play.
Yeah, he made that play
One
all the way out
quick
in
out.
center field.
Brings up Cam Johnson for the Oilers. Cam had a single back in the 5th inning and a run scored. He did fly out to the right fielder back in the 2nd inning. It's a line drive to the shortstop.
That's a great play by the shortstop there. The umpire with the punch out. Looked like Cam had it by maybe a half step, but I don't know, the umpire impressed by the play of the shortstop, I guess, gives him the benefit of the doubt. And it's quickly 2 away here for the Oilers.
Yeah, 2 outs on 3 pitches for Mayhoff, and in steps Kevin Schrock. Excuse me, in steps Troy Merriman, I'm sorry. Josh Schwerer's dad checked me on that one, so we're glad to see that he's paying attention today. That's a ball outside. Count goes to 1-1. Wind's still picking up. It's been steady all day, as you've been able to hear through our microphones. Second baseman playing way out on the grass. Does take a couple steps in, and that's a filthy curveball there from Mayhoff.
Yeah, when you get the first 2 outs on just 3 pitches, it gives you a lot of confidence. You might as well go right at that last hitter of the inning. And Mayhoff did just that as he gives a little dap on the mound. And the Oilers struggle in that, the top of the 7th. We're headed to the bottom of the 7th inning here. The Oilers and Marauders tied at 2. Eric Strand back on the hill for the Oilers in the top of the 7th. Gets the leadoff hitter on one pitch. And at the plate now for the Marauders is number 30, Travis Stevens. Travis does have a hit today in 2 at-bats.
Ball outside there from Strand. One out in the inning here. And a foul ball back there pushes the count to 1-2. Kyle, I was talking to the pitching staff there, so I missed how the first out of the inning happened. Can you replay that for me?
That was a ground ball on the first pitch to second base.
Thank you, sir.
That one,
Line drive, but almost
wow.
off Eric Strand's head. So, short single back up the middle.
It's,
Runner on base here.
Stevens was all over that fastball, didn't miss it at all, hit it right back through the chest of Eric Strand. Strand just lucky to get out of the way of that one. Marauders with a runner on first here and one away.
So a runner on here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Again, we are playing 9 innings here today. Only a single game for the varsity baseball team today. Ball low and away to number 27, Brad Meyer. Brad's 2 for 2 on the day with a walk. Does have a single.
That could be trouble, Joe. The runner was off with the pitch.
Drive to deep left field up against the fence. That's for sure going to score 1 run. That's a run-scoring double. Kyle says Stevens goes off with the pitch. He will score.
Right on the hit and run, you can't really draw it up any better, as that ball was absolutely crushed to center field out over the head of Josh Schwer. Maybe a little wind aided, but that ball was hit really well. And Eric Strand finally gives up some damage, and the Marauders take a 3-2 lead now in the bottom of the 7th inning.
It's going to bring up Clay Bassingthwaite. First pitch strike there from Strand. Bassingthwaite came in as a pinch hitter back in the 5th inning and popped up to the shortstop, Kevin Schrock. Slow roll over to Cam Johnson. Came with another put out there with a throw over to Pete Burkett. 2 outs now. Marauders have a runner on third base. In steps number 6, Dalton Sauce. Dalton 0 for 3 today. Back in the 5th inning, Dalton hit a line drive shot right to Pete Yorgan out in left field. Here's a big hopper off of the pitcher's mound over to Kevin Schrock. Kevin does a nice job of staying with that to record the 3rd out of the inning. At any rate, 2 hits in the inning, scores a run, and the Marauders take a 3-2 lead here as we head to the top of the 8th.
The first thing I remember is the game that I love. A man on the diamond with the golden glove. Daddy with me in the cheap seats above, saying, boy, keep your eye on the ball. The crack of the bat, the stadium's roar. We were up on our feet for the tie-breaking score. I said, Daddy, I know what you brought me here for. He said, good, I hoped you'd hear the call. Life's a fastball, bell tie, coming right down the middle. Don't stand there and let it go by. Swing hard and aim for the stand. My field of dreams was covered in stone, an old gravel parking lot next to our home. Dad on the mound until the daylight was gone, saying, boy, keep your eye on the ball. 'Cause it's hey batter, swing batter, swing.
Top of the 8th inning here, Oilers down 3-2. Marauders get a run in the bottom of the 7th inning. In steps shortstop Kevin Schrock. Kevin takes the first pitch. High and away there, ball number 1. Mayhoff still on the mound for the Marauders. Second pitch from Mayhoff. Low and inside, pushing the count to 2-2. I'd like to give a shout out back to the athletic department staff at the University of Finley listening back home. 3-0 count here, now to Schrock. Nice to see the Oilers get a runner on early here. I can't imagine that Steve Carroll's going to give the green light here to Schrock.
Right, you want to get on any way you can here in the top of the 8th inning. You're down a run, so you need base runners. And Kevin Schrock hitting at the bottom of the lineup here in the 9th slot. His job just to get on base, and he does as we now turn the lineup over to the sophomore center fielder, Josh Schwer.
Josh had a triple back in the 5th inning, just for 2 runs. Josh was responsible for both the RBIs for the game. Logan Harrow on deck for the Oilers, Pete Jordan in the hole. No outs here. Top 8. The Oilers have 4 hits on the day, 2 runs, 4 hits, and 2 errors. The Marion Marauders, 3 runs, 9 hits, and no errors.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, Joe, of the Oilers' 4 hits. 2 of those have come off the bat of Josh Schwer. Another one here would be great in the cause of the Oilers, now down 1 run.
Josh Schwer squared up to bunt there and fouled one back into the screen. Guest appearance by Logan Harrow there, getting the foul ball. The ball high pushes the count to 1-1. Kevin's getting a pretty good secondary lead over there at first base. I think he's getting a little antsy to go on a Schwer contact.
Yeah, he knows that he needs to get into scoring position here. Josh Schwer also knows that his job in this at-bat isn't necessarily to get a hit. It's just to get Kevin Schrock to either second base or third base, somewhere where Logan Harrow will get a chance to drive him in with a hit.
Yeah, and Logan's had a tough day at the plate today. If he can manage to drive in a run or two, give him some added and much-needed confidence here at the plate.
Right, you got to forget about the strikeouts from earlier in the game when you're up in a situation where you've got runners on base and need to deliver for your team. So hopefully Logan can do just that if he does indeed get a runner in scoring position.
Kickoff attempt over there to first base draws first baseman off the bag a bit, but it's a nice job of him diving over Kevin Schrock to catch the ball and keep Kevin at first base. Pop-up foul out of play. Count still 2-2 to sophomore center fielder Josh Schwer. And a foul tip back into the catcher's mitt. Swinging strikeout there for Josh Schwer. perils Oilers early here in the season. Do some pinch hitting and pitch running.
Right, in the game the other day, Hurt entered in a pinch hit situation, and the first pitch he saw, he drove it out to the outfield for his first career hit.
It's a 3-0 count here now for Hurt. Gotta wonder if Steve's going to give him the green light. He's not. 3-1 now.
Another one of those pitches, and I think Derek Hurd would be jumping all over it. Pitch caught a lot of the plate, obviously, on 3-0. But you got to believe Hurd is up there ready to swing.
Oilers dugout with a little bit of life in it now. We're down 2-0. That's a 5-pitch walk for Derek Hurd. Nice job of him coming in and getting the ball. As a pinch hitter for Logan Hara. Oilers have runner. Excuse me, the Oilers have runner. Number 14, Pete Jorgen.
Good job there by Derek Hurd. Coming off the bench and pinch hitting late in the ball game. A lot of times your attitude is you want to hit and impress the coach to try and earn some playing time, but a patient at bat from Hurd, and he's got 2 Oilers on base now for who has arguably been the most productive hitter so far this season in Pete Jorgen.
Yeah, Pete's done a good job for the Oilers so far this season, getting hits and getting timely hits. Runners on first and second, a big spot here for Pete. That's a ball in the dirt. Nice job, Pete Jorgen there, signaling down to Kevin Schrock at second. Stay put.
And the pitcher, Mayhoff, seems to have lost a little bit of command now in the 8th inning. He's pitched 7 1/3. Pretty solid inning so far, has 10 strikeouts.
Foul ball back out of play. 1-1 count here for junior Pete Jorgen. There is action down in the Mary bullpen. Appear to have 2 arms up, one for sure, righty. From our vantage point, I can't tell how many they have down there. I do see one righty side armor warming up pretty creatively. That's a strike looking for Pete Jorgen. He did have this grip ball.
And of course, just as we say that he's lost command, he comes back and throws a couple of strikes. Now 1-2 to Jorgen. Got to be ready for anything here. Still need to advance the runners in this at-bat.
Excuse me.
That's going to get it down. That is a huge at-bat from Pete Jorgen. Kevin Schrock had to hold up to make sure that it was not caught by the center fielder or left fielder. A little bloop out there by Jorgen. But the ball gets down. Left fielder sort of misplays it, and Schrock is able to round third and score. Derek Hurd all the way to third base, and Jorgen heads up base running, gets himself to second. And this game is tied now, Joe, 3-3 in the top of inning number 8.
And Kyle Insteps, new first baseman. We are going to have a pitching change.
Hello?
Where are you?
I'm going to the Oilers game, and why? What's up?
Did you forget about the 30-minute presentation we have due tomorrow in biology? We understand if you can't make it to the game. If that's the case, log on to athletics.finley.edu. There you'll find photos, box scores, recaps, and more about all of your favorite Oilers sports teams. Athletics.finley.edu, bringing you all the excitement of Oilers athletics.
want it all, that's what we're chasing. We want it now, we've been working too much to be patient. Yeah, success to me is motivation. It's time to get it. This is one for Oiler Nation. This is one for Oiler Nation. This one right here is for Oiler Nation. Success to me is motivation. Man, it's time to get it. This is one for Oiler Nation.
And I knew it all right from the start. Ever since I walked, we gon' take it over. I'ma make my mark, cause I got my team and they will take me far. Never slowing down, we always working hard. Always had the feeling I was bound to blow, but my team came through and gave me the spark. It's a new me, my mindset, and I ain't going back. Got big dreams of the big rings and them golden plaques. I know my team's got me, but I'm working hard like it's all on me. If you didn't know, we rock orange and black, but it's Halloween. Been an underdog my whole life, this ain't nothing new. Hope you're hearing this and you look at us and get uncomfortable. We got something for you, I'm gonna tell you all what I've been telling studs. It don't even matter.
Taking the pitch high and outside there. Excuse me, swing there. High fastball. And the Oilers and the Marauders are tied at 3-3 at the bottom, to the top of the 8th inning. Runners on second and third. Derek Hurd is on third base. Pete Yorkin at second. There is speed on the base pass. New pitcher here for the Marauders. Yo Takanaka is in pitching. He's a right-handed pitcher. There's a lot of relief from them on the articles that I've been reading from them. Foul ball.
Yeah, this is, sorry, Joe, this is the third appearance for Takanaka. Has not allowed an earned run yet in 5 innings pitched, just 1 hit off of him and 3 strikeouts. Hitter's just hitting .077 against this right-hander.
He has a different delivery than the Oilers have seen so far this year. Here's a hard single to short.
Great swing there by Pete Burkett. He was all over the fastball from Takanaka, drove it past the shortstop into left field. The Oilers have taken a late lead here, and now a runner still 90 feet away, and Jordan Garcia at the plate. And looks like Marauders head coach out to talk with his pitcher.
Pitching coach was talking about there to the home plate umpire. In that area, we're going to have a meeting of the minds here. I'm going to stay with you here while just to review that. That's a nice piece of hitting there, Kyle, from Pete in a big spot that he hasn't been this year.
Yeah, nice to see, and nice for Coach Peril. Now he has a little more confidence that he's got options over there at first base. Of course, anytime you've got guys that can produce at the plate, that's never a bad problem to have. So Pete Burkett coming through in the clutch. Oilers have scored 2 runs this inning in the top of the 8th and have taken the lead here. Marauders still out hitting the Oilers 9-6, but Finley on top.
Jordan Garcia now in a big as a designated hitter. It's pop up again.
Oh, did that just hit the camera? That would be unfortunate. Boy, that was about as close as it gets. Yeah, the catcher ran right into your living room. As long as our equipment is okay. That'll teach us. This is the first time we've had the camera really outside of the press box, and maybe the rest of the trip down here, we're gonna have to bring it back in. Good work out of Jordan Garcia. The pitch up and in. Did not flinch. Wore it in his shoulder. And now sacks are full for Christian Smith.
This is a big spot here for Christian Smith. Bases loaded, 1 out.
Yeah. A couple more runs here would be absolutely huge for the Oilers. Then they could turn it over to their bullpen. That ball hit well out to left field, deep enough to drive the left fielder back. He didn't see it up in the sun, and Pete Jorgen scores from third base. Pete Birkett is third base, and it's a big single there for Christian Smith. Outfielders did not see the ball up in the sun, and it falls to the ground. Oilers extend their lead. Now 3 runs in the top of the 8th inning. Oilers ahead 5-3, and Cameron Johnson now at the dish. Yep, it got up in the sun. Left fielder and center fielder both lost it, and now Takanaka takes an early exit as we'll take a break and get you some information on the new Marauders pitcher here after this break.
Drum and hold the phone. The sun came out today. We're born again. There's new grass on the field. Around the third and headed for home. It's a brown-eyed, handsome man. Anyone can understand the way I feel. Oh, put me in cold. I'm ready to play. Put me in cold. I'm ready to play today. Look at me. I can be center field. Well, I spent some time in the Mudville night, watching it from the bench. You know, I took some lumps when the mighty case struck out. So
looking at the roster here for the Marauders, maybe number 32, Zachary Sharp, a 6'6", 215-pound sophomore.
There's a hard hit, foul ball down the left field line. Josh Keller sprinting down to get the foul ball. Nice work out of Josh as always.
Nevertheless, we've got a 3-run top of the 8th here. Oilers have taken the lead 5-3. And for strike number 2, Cam's got to move the ball in this situation, trying to extend that lead for the Oilers.
First baseman and the third baseman playing off the bag. Middle infield playing back on the grass. Center fielder playing 4 or 5 steps in from where we've seen them play normally today. Left and right playing in their wrong positions. That's a hard hit ball right to the shortstop. Plays a little bit of Ole defense, catches it. Makes a nice shortstop there at first. Cam Johnson pushing. Got to first base. This has a full run. And the Oilers going to have runners on the corner now. 2 down in the inning. Brings up third baseman Troy Merriman.
Yeah, good work by Johnson there. Hit the ball hard at the shortstop, who kind of bobbled it on the transfer, was only able to get the out at second base. So no hit there for Cam Johnson, but he did do the job, and the Oilers have now doubled up the Marauders. It's 6-3, orange and black lead.
In steps Troy Merriman. Last pitch there was a ball in the dirt on the catcher. My vote's going out to talk to the new pitcher. Oilers have Jordy Garcia on third base and Cam Johnson over at first. The Oilers have scored 4 runs here in the top of the 8th inning to take a 6-3 lead. Good speed on the base pass here for the Oilers at first and third. It's a ball in the dirt. Cam Johnson smartly going down to second base. Does a nice job of base running there. Cam taking second base on a ball in the dirt. So the Oilers now have runners on second and third with 2 outs here in the inning. Anything hard hit gets in for a single is going to score a couple more runs here for the Oilers. And there's an excuse me bunt over the infield. Nice play from the shortstop, reaching over to his left and making the play. Oilers lead 2 straight, but they don't score 4 at the bottom of the top of the 8th to take a 6-3 lead. We'll be back to live baseball here momentarily.
Let's go! Batter up! We're taking the afternoon off. It's a beautiful day for a ball game today. The fans are out to get a ticket or 2 from all and Kalamazoo. It's a beautiful day for a home run, but even a triple's okay. We're gonna cheer and boo and raise a hullabaloo at the ball game today. Batter off, right 1. Okay, the game has just begun, and the home team's out to win. Very swing, right 2. And the pitch is Dipsy Do. Genius fastball, pop right in. This is it, the right 3. Fans are tearing up the chairs, but what the heck, who cares? It's a beautiful day for a ball game today. If you and I are out of dollars and cents, oh honey, we can always share a little home and
All right, folks, back to baseball here. New right fielder here for the Oilers is in. Chris Hayward taking over out in right. Eric Strand still on the mound here for the Oilers. First pitch from Strand is a ball high to number 9, Tom Umholt. Oilers taking a 6-3 lead there in the top of the 8th inning. Nice comeback pitch there from Strand to push the count to 1-1. And another nice pitch there from Strand pushes the count to 1-2. Outfield playing a step or 2 back than normal. Middle infield playing back on the grass. That's a ball high. 2-2 now. Schraen comes set and fires home. That's a fly ball to center field. Josh Schwer going back on his left. He's got to get on his horse. That ball bounces off. Josh does a nice job of covering it, though. That's a leadoff double for Tom Imholt, and some energy out of the Mary Marauders bench here.
If you're going to give up 4 runs in an inning, you're going to have to answer with something big. And Imholt does just that with a loud double to center field.
Mason Schiff up now for the Marauders, the runner on second. Mason reached on an error back in the 6th inning and does have a single in the 4th. 1 for 2 on the day. Excuse me, 1 for 3 on the day. So we'll see what Schraen comes back here, working with a 3-runner lead. That hit from Imholt was his 10th was the 10th of the game for the Mary Marauders. Ball low.
10 hits for Mary, and the Oilers have made 3 errors on defense. You would think that Finley would be down in this game, but actually ahead, 6-3.
And another ball in the dirt there. The Oilers do have some action down in their bullpen, down the down the third base line. Count is 2-0. Third baseman Troy Merriman playing in on the bag. And a nice pitch there from Schraen. Get the count to 1-2.
And you got to think, Joe, this will be Schraen's last inning as they've got the closer A.J. Cecil available. And it looks like he is in the bullpen getting loose, getting ready to come out in the bottom of the 9th in what right now would be a save situation.
Another strike there over the outside part of the plate for Schraen, pushes the count to 2-2. Cam Johnson and Kevin Schrock up the middle, not paying any attention to the runner at second. That was a ball. Finley crowd didn't appreciate that being called a ball. That appeared to be a little side. Schraen pitching from the stretch comes home. There's a single off the right side. Chris Hayward, the right fielder, comes in, makes a nice throw in to catcher Christian Smith to keep the runner at third. At any rate, that's a nice single from Mason Schiff to get the runner over to third base. So Mary now with runner on the corners, no outs here in the inning.
Yeah, good swing from Schiff. Drives the ball the other way out to Chris Hayward, the newly inserted right fielder. Chris with one of the better arms on this team, but really no sense for the Marauders to send Imholt there around third with no outs. And Mary has runners at the corners. We look like we're going to have a pinch runner at first base.
Pinch running there is number 8, Seth Mead. Seth, a 5'10 sophomore at a Wapaton High School in Wapaton, North Dakota. Christian Smith here is going to call out a sign for the infield coverage that Coach Steve Perrell wants to run here. Christian South does a nice job of marking these calls out to the infield. At any rate, runners on first and third. Pete Burkett over at first holding the runner on, the new pinch runner. And a nice first pitch there from Schraen. Throws something off speed right down the heart of the plate. Number 15, Andrew Byer, might not have been expecting off speed there.
Yeah, Byer hitless in today's ball game.
Byer does have a strikeout in this game. 0 for 3 overall. There's a ball on the outside part of the plate, pushes the count to 1-1. Oilers do have a doubleheader tomorrow back here at Auburndale. It's a hard drive to Chris Hayward out in right field. Chris does a nice job of coming in and making the play, and absolutely throws a rope from the right fielder holding the runners. Christian Smith had to range about 2 steps out of the batter's box to catch that throw from Chris. And Kyle, that's a heck of a throw from Chris coming in. Didn't warm up at all, I'm sure, when he came in, other than basic throwing there.
Yeah, good job by Chris. And third base coach for the Marauders maybe saw the throw on the previous play, knew he probably didn't want to test the arm of Hayward. That ball was hit short of Chris out and right, and so he was charging and was able to get behind that throw, and a strong throw to the dish prevents the run from scoring. Runners still at the corners now with 1 out.
Brings up leadoff hitter Chris Scott. Scott's 1 for 4 on the day with a single. Did strike out back in the 6th inning to end that inning. There's a pop-up, another ball right at Chris Hayward. Chris has to take a couple steps back. That's going to be deep enough to score a run, but that is the second out of the inning. Imholt scoring from third base. That ball, Kyle, took Chris Hayward about 4 or 5 steps to his right, so it would have taken an amazing throw to get Imholt there tagging from third.
Right, and the difference between that and the ball before is Chris isn't able to charge on that ball and get anything behind the throw, really. Running out to his right. His momentum's taking him out towards right center field, so really no chance for Chris. When you're in right field in that situation, you just hit your cutoff and keep that runner at first base. So now 2 away. Marauders have a runner on first base, and the batter at the dish is Jason Shaw.
Bottom 8 here from Auburndale, Mickey Otherton Field. Oilers have a 2-run lead. Score is 6-4. 2 outs here. The Marauders have 11 hits on the day, while the Oilers have 7. Ball in the dirt there from pitcher number 44, Eric Schrand. Gets the count to 1-1.
Yeah, 11 hits for the Marauders, and the Oilers have only struck out 4 batters. Ball's been in play a lot, but the defense has done just enough to keep the Oilers ahead in this game. Score 6-4, Findlay on top.
Two outs here in the inning. Runner on first base. A foul ball back into the Oilers' dugout. Jake Ireland jumping out of the bullpen there. Would have been E1. Went right through his 5-hole. Pitcher's fielding practice. You don't get a lot of them off the fence. 2 outs here, 2 strikes. And that's a ball in the dirt, and Smith lets that one get past him. So it's going to move the runner down to second base. Eight runners left on base for the Marauders. And pitching coach Brian Mikowski making his way out to the mound. 2-2 count here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Marauders have scored 1 run in this inning. This is more of a pep talk, I think, than anything. The runner on second base and 2 outs, Kyle. I don't necessarily know if pitching coach Brian Mikowski is telling him to pay attention to him at all, focus on the runner or the task at hand here at home plate.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about that runner at second base at all. He's not going to try and steal in this situation. Coach Mikowski probably just giving Schrand a little vote of confidence. Hey, give this guy a strike here, get out of this inning, and we'll turn it over to A.J. Cecil in the bottom of the ninth. Schrand has done his job, called out of the bullpen back in the fifth inning, has gone 3 2/3 so far. Allowed 2 earned runs, but really has kept the Oilers in the ball game.
2-2 count, 2 outs here. Oilers lead 6-4, and that's a ball on the outside part of the. Kyle, I don't know where that was.
That was
that missed.
That was very close there. Must have just missed off the black on the left side of home plate, and Schrand has a full count here. It was Shaw at the dish.
Foul ball back out of play. And Kyle, that was the first pitch all day I could hear Schrand make an audible noise when he threw that one home. That might have had a little extra on it. Nice job of Stevens there catching up. Excuse me, of Shaw catching up.
Yeah, for Schrand on the hill, this is an out you obviously need to get, but you want to be cautious not to overthrow. Often when you try and overthrow, then you lose control. Just got to throw a strike here, and he does. Shaw lifts it out into center field. No way for Schwer to make a play, and Mary scores Meade from second base. And just like that, the Marauders answer the big Oilers 4-run inning with a couple of their own. Oilers' lead is now cut to 6-5 on the single from Shaw.
And Kyle, I have a feeling this is it for Eric Schrand here. Came in, pitched a nice job today, but it looks like this is going to be it.
Yeah, Schrand may have just run out of gas there. Not often called on to go more than 3 innings, and did pitch 3 2/3. But the Oilers are going to turn it over to junior closer A.J. Cecil to try and finish out this 8th. We'll be back with more information on Cecil and the Oilers here after the break.
Walk out to the bleachers. Sit in shirt sleeves on a perfect afternoon. They'll find they have reserved seats somewhere along one of the baselines. So they sat when they were children and cheered their heroes. And they'll watch the game. And it'll be as if they'd dipped themselves in magic waters. The memories will be so thick, they'll have to brush them away from their faces. The one constant through all the years, Ray, has been baseball. America has rolled by like an army of steamrollers. It's been erased like a blackboard, rebuilt and erased again. But baseball has marked the time. This field, this game, it's a part of our past, Ray. It reminds us of all that once was good, and it could be again. Oh, people will come, Ray. People will most definitely come.
All right, back to baseball here. A.J. Cecil comes off after his warm-up throws, has a meeting here with catcher Christian Smith.
A.J. Cecil, the junior on the mound, has a save this year. Last season had a 6.41 ERA, pitched in 26 2/3 innings, pitched in 14 ball games, struck out 13 hitters. It's a guy that has shown some big improvement in the offseason and has earned his right as the closer on this Oilers team, and he's in a big spot right now in for the 4-out save if he can manage to get out the hitter at the dish. Travis Stevens, the designated hitter for the Marauders.
Travis has had a good day at the plate. He's had a single, 2 singles, a walk, a strikeout, and 2 runs scored. He was stranded at third base back in the 5th inning. Runners off with the pitch. Christian Smith catches a high throw, and he is going to be tagged out at second base.
That's absolutely huge for the Oilers, Joe. Not sure why you run in that situation. but Shaw trying to get himself into scoring position. Christian Smith has had a strong arm all day, does so again, ends the inning, and the Oilers take a 6-5 lead headed into the top of the 9th inning.
The Whiz Kids had won it, Bobby Thompson had done it, and Yogi read the comics all the while. Rock and roll was being born, marijuana we would scorn. So down on the corner, the national pastime went on trial. We're talking baseball, Klazuski, Campanella, talking baseball. The man and Bobby Fella, the Scooter, the Barber, and the Nuke. They knew them all from Boston to Dubuque, especially Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. Well, KC was winning, Hank Aaron was beginning, one Robbie going out, one coming in. Kiner and Midget Goodell, the Thumper and Mel Parnell, and Ike was the only one winning down in Washington. I'm talking baseball, Klazuski, Campanella, talking baseball. The man in Barbella, the Scooter, the Barber, and the Duke. They knew them all from Boston to Dubuque, especially Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. Now my old friend, the Bachelor,
All right, folks,
well, he
back here in
swore.
baseball. Top of the 9th inning, Oilers have a 1-run lead, 6-5 score. Mary Marauders were able to come back and get 2 runs in that bottom of the 8th inning, cut the lead to 1.
New pitcher on the mound for the Marauders is Travis Holt. The tall, lanky left-hander has appeared in 4 ball games this year. 3.1 innings pitched, a couple of hits, no earned runs. Oilers don't need a run here, but of course you always want to add a little insurance as they hold a 6-5 lead, and this is the last inning of the ball game.
First pitch there from Holt is a strike. Kevin Schrock at the dish now. Oilers sent 9 batters to the plate in the last inning. Kevin hits a slow roller to the shortstop, who makes a nice play. Put out goes 4-3 for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up Josh Swear. Josh, your center fielder. Single and a triple in today's game. Also has a strikeout and a flyout. 2 for 4 day. Schwer does have 2 RBIs on the day. Struck out in the 8th inning when the Oilers did set, like I said, 9 batters to the plate. That ball's way outside.
Yeah, there's been a lot of offense in this game today, Joe. 12 hits for the home team, the Marauders, and 7 for the Oilers. A little different than what we've seen so far down here, but mostly pitching dominated in the games, but a lot of offense here today.
Nice comeback strike there from Holt. And Kyle, when this game started, we thought it was going to be a pitcher's duel the whole time. During the last couple innings, we've had runs scored and a lot of hits rack up. There's pop-up about a play over to our right side.
Yeah, as the game began, it kind of was dragging along. If you look out there at the scoreboard in left, a lot of zeros out there up into the 4th inning. But since that 4th inning, it's been a pretty offensive game, and Oilers benefit a 4-run, 8th inning and hold the lead.
There's a hard hit ball right through the legs of the third baseman. Josh Swear is going to take 2 on this one. Going in, sliding in head first, and he is thrown out. That would have been an error on the third baseman. It's an aggressive job at base running, and that's one I don't know if that's first base coach Jaron Stutzman from first to second or what that was. At any rate, the putout goes 5-4 for the second out of the inning here. In steps Chris Hayward.
Yeah, Schwer just trying to take the extra base there was a benefit of the error by the third baseman. However, third baseman did a good job of recovering. When picked the ball up, threw a strike to second base, and Schwer, trying to get the extra bag, was gunned down.
One count here to Chris Hayward. Kiss came in and saved a run in the last inning, but wind blowing hard out to right field here. Right fielder takes a step or two back in his position.
Yeah, Chris, a big kid in that batter's box. He's got a lot of pop in the bat. If he can get a hold of one, I'd like to see if he could hit that building out there in right center.
A lot of glass on that building. It'd be nice to see him break one here.
Or just
and
get hit by a pitch.
Hits by the pitch on the left leg, and that's going to put a runner on for the Oilers. So hit by pitch there for Chris Hayward gets him on base. Brings up number 14, Pete Jorgen. 2 outs here. Top of the ninth inning. Oilers are ahead 6-5.
Chris has some speed at first base, too, so a ball in the gap could score Hayward from first. Trying to extend this Oilers lead. A.J. Cecil sitting in the dugout now would love an insurance run, I'm sure.
Tall lefty Holt working fairly efficiently here. Hasn't thrown more than 3 batter in this inning. And there's a second pitch strike to Pete Jorgen. Pete did not offer up at that pitch. Kyle, do you think we could see any base running action here from Steve Perrell, hit and run, etc.?
I don't think at this point in the ball game it's worth getting rid of a base runner that you've got Hayward on with the hit by pitch and a couple of outs. Yes, you do have the lead, but your best hitter at the dish, you don't want to put him in a spot where he's forced to swing at anything he doesn't want to hit.
Foul ball back out of play there. Hits the count to 2-2. Again, the Oilers are ahead 1 run here in the top of the ninth inning, 6-5. 6 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors for the Oilers. 5 runs, 12 hits, 2 errors for the Merry Marauders. Only 1 game today. That's a ball outside. Full count here.
Hayward will be off with this pitch, so if he can find a gap, got to think Hayward would score easily.
A foul ball back off the catcher's chest protector there into the net. Guest appearance there by Pete Burkett. Nice job of the home plate umpire, Pete Burkett there, giving the catcher a chance to catch his breath a little bit. Ball did go back off the chest protector and come back into the screen.
If I'm the pitcher, Holt, here, I don't want to give in to Pete Jorgen. He threw a pretty good fastball right down the middle there to Pete. Pete just missed it, but you got to be careful. Pete is hitting in the 3-hole, the best hitter we've got in our lineup. And a walk in this situation wouldn't be the worst because you know that if Pete gets a hold of one, he could score that runner from first base.
And there's a ball in the dirt. Nice job of Pete Burkett there drawing a walk. That's going to put runners on first and second for the Oilers. Pete Jorgen on first. Pete Burkett, however, up now for the Oilers. Pete Burkett had a sharp single in the last inning. That pitch there from Holt moves him out of the way. And that's going to send the catcher, Imholt, out to have a conversation there with Holt, the pitcher.
Yeah, Burkett came in for the starter, Dallas, and in his only plate appearance so far had a hit, an RBI, and later came around to score. So good job off the bench by the sophomore, Pete Burkett.
Pete does a little bit of pitching for the Oilers as well. And that's a ball in the dirt. 2-0 count here.
If you're Pete, you're looking for one pitch here. Fastball over the heart of the plate. If it's anything but, you got to take it. But if you get that pitch, swing out of your shoes.
And Kyle with the 3-0 count here, and with the pitcher Holt having just walked Pete Jorgen. Green light or red light here?
You're taking all the way here. 3-0 count. If you can load the bases for Jordan Garcia, you got to do it. He does take a fastball over to the heart of the plate. Still ready, though, because pitcher has to come back with another pitch on the plate or he loads the bases. So still ready to hit here for Burkett.
And that's a ball in the dirt. So that loads the bases here for the Findlay Oilers. Brings up designated hitter Jordy Garcia. That's 2 walks in a row from Holt. So a hit by pitch, a walk, and a walk. Loads the bases here. Senior Jordy Garcia, your designated hitter, up. There's a ball on the inside corner.
And the pitcher Holt keeps trying to work the inside part of the plate with a little two-seam fastball. Hasn't gotten the call yet. Not sure why. He keeps going back to that pitch, Joe. And right there again, he just keeps missing with that same pitch. And Oilers will take that pitch all day if we can walk in or run. Why not?
And Kyle, you almost wonder if Coach Steve Carroll has these guys holding the bats and still he does prove that he can throw that pitch over the heart of the plate.
Absolutely. Here you're just taking until you get a strike. Now Jordan's got one. So he's in swing mode.
2-1 here. And Jordy Garcia even looked back at the home plate umpire there agreeing with the call. Bases loaded here. Oilers up a run. And that's a slow roller to the third baseman who makes the easy play just stepping on the bag. Oilers leave the bases loaded, though. Oilers up a run at 6-5, headed to the bottom of the ninth. We'll be back shortly to baseball.
Pack it in, let me begin. Packing the wind, battle me, that's a sin. I won't ever slack up, I'll get out of back up. Try and play the role and you're the whole crew will act up. Get up, stand up, come on, throw your hands up if you got the feeling. Jump up, touch the ceiling, monsters of one flow. Someone's talking junk, yo, I'll bust them in the eye. And then I'll take the punks out, feeling funkin'. Amps in a trunk and I got more rhymes than this cops at a Dunkin' Donut shop. Sure enough, I got pop from the kids on the hill with my mom and my pops. I came to get down, I came to get down. So get out your seat and jump around, jump around, jump around, jump around, jump up and get down. Jump, 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 jump. I'll serve your ass like John McEnroe.
All right, back to baseball here. Bottom of the ninth inning, the Oilers do have a 6-5 lead here. Senior A.J. Cecil on for the Oilers. This is a designated hitter, Travis Stevens, in for the Mary Marauders.
Stevens, the 3 hitter for the Marauders, has a couple of hits and a couple of runs scored in this ballgame.
A nice pitch there from A.J. Cecil. Get the count to 1-1.
AJ Cecil has taken on the closer's role for the Oilers, has won already on this Florida trip in this young season, on for his second save of the year. And you got to feel after an off day, the Oilers would love to get a win here in the only game of the day, heading into a doubleheader tomorrow.
Foul ball down the left field line.
That's actually
That's a fair ball. Wow, the wind held that up. Nice job of Pete Jorgen hustling over and doing a great job of keeping Travis Stevens only to a loud single there. Wind definitely held that up and gave Pete a chance to come over and fire that in from deep left field.
Yeah, Pete got to that ball quickly. Like you said, the wind keeping it fair. So it's just a long single for Stevens, which is good news for the Oilers because a runner in scoring position with no outs and a one-run lead would be less than ideal. So good work out of the outfielder, Pete Jorgen.
Brad Meyer up now for the Marauders. Brad with a couple doubles today, a single and a walk.
Boy, between Stevens and Meyer for the Marauders, the 3 and 4 hitters, that's now 6 hits. So most of the damage coming out of this top of the lineup here. If Cecil can get Meyer here, the next 3 hitters for the Marauders are hitless on the day.
The ball down in the dirt. Right now, the Mary dugout is audibly louder than the University of Findlay Oilers dugout.
And they've got a little bit of a rally going here. This, of course, the bottom of the 9th inning. Last chance score here for the Marauders, who trail on this one 6-5. The Marauders only a 1-5 record so far this season.
And there's a wild pitch there from A.J. Cecil bouncing over the head of Christian Smith.
Yeah, the Marauders looking for their second win of the year. And, you know, sometimes the teams without a lot of wins are the most dangerous, just for the fact that if they're in the game late, they have nothing going against them. You might as well throw out all the stops. They can run anything they want to run. Try and win the ball game, because if they lose, it's just another loss.
In-depth stuff from Kyle Neerman right there. The 2-1 count here from A.J. Cecil to Brad Meyer. Here's a ground ball to second baseman Cam Johnson. Cam ranges to his left and gets the first out of the inning. That is a nice job, however, of Meyer to get the runner into scoring possession.
Meyer did the job there. Hit the ball hard on the right side of the infield, advanced the runner to third base. Tying run is 90 feet away for the Marauders. Looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter here.
Number 5, Sean Hennon, stepping in here for Clay Bassenthwaite. Marauders do have action down in their bullpen down the first base line if this game does go into extra innings. Kyle, can you see if the Oilers have anybody up in the pen?
No, there is no one throwing in the pen for the Oilers. This is all on this the junior A.J. Cecil.
A strike over the heart of the plate there, getting out in front of number 5, Sean Hennon.
Hennon is hitting 143 this season. This is the 5th ball game in which he has played. 1 hit in 7 at-bats.
Great off-speed pitch there from A.J. Cecil. Gets Hennon swinging out and off balance. Gets the count to 0-2. Kyle, I don't think you'll see anything in your off-speed ahead 0-2 with the runner on third base. You don't want to risk the ball in the dirt.
You just don't want to give the hitter anything really to the hit. Try and make him chase. You're way ahead in the count 0-2. You see the Oilers infield playing on the grass, looking to gun down any threat of a run at home, but that ball just chopped up over the middle, and the Marauders do the job. Pinch hitter Hennon comes into the ball game and delivers with a single. It's a blown save there, and the Marauders have now tied this ball game 6-6. to 6 in the bottom of the 9th.
So that brings up Dalton Sauce, the shortstop. Dalton 0 for 4 on the day. Double play is in order here for A.J. Cecil.
Yeah, and the inning not over yet. Obviously, the runner on first base, still only 1 out. You got to be careful now that the Marauders don't score that run and win the ball game.
Nice job of calling the hit and run there by the coach. Advances the runner from first to second. Sauce does roll out to Kevin Schrock at shortstop, who gets the put out 6-3.
Yeah, Schrock backhanded that ball deep in the hole at short, threw over to first, kind of short hopped Pete Burkett. So that's a great play over there by Burkett to knock that ball down, catch it for the out, because if it gets by him, that's the runner on third base with less than 2 outs. So big play over there by Burkett. Coach Mikowski now out to talk to his junior pitcher, try and settle him down here. Oilers have 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. This ball game is tied at 6.
Quick meeting on the mound here. So that's Brian Mikowski. He was out there quickly and then walks back. So number 9, Tom Imholtz up. He is 2 for 3 for the day with a single and a double. Also has a walk, but he has 2 runs scored. I believe we have a pinch runner out at second base. I believe that's number 4, Drew Feuerbach. That is number 4, Drew Feuerbach. A first pitch from Cecil is a strike to Imholt.
Yeah, Oilers have kind of been playing with fire here. That is 14 hits for the Marion Marauders. And at some point, you got to feel like they're going to break through, and they do here in the bottom of the 9th to tie the game.
Foul ball back, bunt back out of play here for the second strike of the at-bat. Bless you to Austin or Dusty there. You could hear in the microphone. Bottom of the 9th inning, 2 outs here, 2 strikes on Tom Imholt.
See what Cecil does here. The last hitter had no 2 count and singled up the middle. Kind of
There's
the
a high
same
chopper
pitch here.
Shortstop Kevin Schrock. Kevin Schrock fires across, but he will not be able to make the play as Speedy Imholt gets an infield single.
That's some bad luck there for Cecil. Got the weak ground ball, and now the runner, Imholt, scoots into second base. Cecil not paying attention. Not like that really matters with a runner on third base just 90 feet away, but now runners at second and third, and a chance for Meade to be the hero, Seth Meade, who came in as a pinch runner.
And Kyle, it's hard to break momentum, and right now Marion has all of it. Coach Steve Carroll's Oilers are reeling a little bit. Meade calls time at home plate.
Seems like kind of a risky play there from Imholt. If Cecil's paying attention, all he has to do is turn and throw to his second baseman, and the ball game goes into extra innings. But Imholt was confident that he could make it safely and does, taking the force away from second base. So the Oilers' only play on a ground ball now will be to first.
And Meade was a pinch runner back in the 8th inning. He pinch ran for Mason Schiff and did score a run. 6-6 here, bottom of the 9th inning. Big spot for A.J. Cecil here with the blown save. Ball on the up. Ball out, 1-1 count. Infield back, and like Kyle said, a single wins the game here. So the Oilers offense is playing, Oilers defense in the outfield is playing in a couple steps. A.J. Cecil pitching from the stretch, rocks and fires. That's a ball in the dirt. It does not get far enough away from Christian Smith for the runner on third to advance.
Yeah, this is the position you dream about as a hitter. Bottom of the ninth, runners on and 2 outs. Cecil's going to have to bear down to get the hitter, Mead.
2-1 count here for Mead. Like I said, Mead did pinch run in the last inning and did score a run. Foul ball back out of play pushes the count to 2-2. And Kyle, it's another 2-strike count here for A.J. Cecil.
Yeah, another 2-strike count has been unsuccessful with 2 strikes so far. Expect him to throw something over the plate here. He's gone slider with 2 strikes in the previous 2 at-bats.
And that's going to be a drive to right field, and Chris Hayward does a nice job of arranging to his right to make a game-saving diving play out in right field. The Mary Marauders do tie it, though, 6-6 as we head to extra baseball. Be back briefly with live baseball.
Well, I beat the drum and hold the phone. The sun came out today. We're born again. There's new grass on the field. Around the third and headed for home. It's a brown-eyed, handsome man. Anyone can understand the way I feel. Oh, put me in cold. I'm ready to play today. Put me in cold. I'm ready to play today. Look at me. I can be center field. Well, I spent some time in the Mudville night, watching it from the bench. You know, I took some lumps when the mighty case struck out. So say, hey, Willie, tell the cow and Joe DiMaggio, don't say it ain't so. You know the time is now. Oh, put me in cold. I'm ready to play today. Put me in cold. I'm ready to play today. Look at me. I can be center field. Yeah, got it.
All right, folks, welcome back to extra baseball here. New pitcher for the Mary Marauders, number 14, Alec DiMaria, as well as a new first baseman who was a pinch runner in the last at bat, Drew Feuerbach.
DiMaria on the mound for the Marauders has had 2 appearances thus far. Has pitched 3 innings, allowed 2 runs, just 1 earned, and allowed 3 hits. Struck out 2 batters.
Up this inning for the Oilers is Christian Smith. First pitch to Christian is a strike over the inside part of the plate.
Wow, and Joe, how about that diving play out in right field by Chris Hayward in the bottom of the 9th? Runner on third. If that ball gets down, the ball game is over. Chris, who came off the bench dives out in right field, saves the ball game for the Oilers. At least gives them life here. Now we're in the second extra inning ball game of the year.
1-2 count here on Christian Smith. Like Kyle said, extra innings here. Score tied 6-6. Another foul ball back at play keeps the count at 1-2. Talking to the Mary Sports Information Director yesterday, they played 12 innings, I believe is what he told us.
Yeah, so back-to-back extra inning games, long games for the Marauders. He said that game yesterday lasted about 4 hours.
So 2-2 here. That's 3-2. Smith, Johnson, Merriman, Schrock here for your Oilers. Nice to see the bottom of the lineup do a little bit of damage here. Be good for Coach Carroll's boys. It's a hard hit back up the middle. Nice play ranging to his left as the shortstop. Sauce with a nice play there to get Christian Smith. That's a hard hit ball and a nice play by the shortstop. He gets to put out 6-3. It's going to bring up Cam Johnson.
The only other ball game this year in which the Oilers have played extra innings was the second game of that doubleheader on opening day against the Notre Dame Falcons. The Oilers won that game 3-2 in 9 innings.
First pitch to Cam Johnson is a ball outside.
That's the game in which Austin Rudetsky, starting pitcher, went 8 innings and had 12 strikeouts. And A.J. Cecil came in for the 9th and got the save in extra innings.
Cam's got a single and a run scored today. Fly out and a ground out. And there's a big bending curveball right over the heart of the plate for a 1-2 count. Nice job of Cam there, staying alive, fouling back, one back into the screen. Pardon me while I ask Austin Rudetsky, that's sitting to my right, who do you think Mac will bring in here heading into the 10th? Rudetsky thinks we'll return to A.J. Cecil, a junior. There's a swing drive into deep left field. Left fielder Shank comes under it. So that's second out of the inning. And that brings up third baseman Troy Merriman. Troy has a walk and a strikeout today. 1 run scored. Strike on the inside part of the plate there. And another strike there on the curveball. Quickly ahead of Troy Merriman, 0-2. The ball outside there. Catcher Imholt set up way on the outside part of the plate. Threw the off-speed stuff to try to get Troy to chase. He did not. Swinging a drive to left field. That's going to get down for a single. And the Oilers have a runner on here in the top of the 10th inning. That's Troy Merriman. So that brings up shortstop Kevin Schrock. Kevin with a walk. Back in the 7th inning. And there's another single for Kevin Schrock. That's going to send Troy Merriman from first to third. So a nice piece of hitting there from Kevin Schrock. Oilers now have a runner on first and third, 2 down here in the top of the 10th inning. Got a meeting on the mound here. Catcher and the entire infield in. Coach Steve Perrell pulls Josh Schwerer, leadoff hitter, up. Talk to him what he would like to see here. Again, the score is 6-6 in the top of the 10th inning. The 2 hits in this inning for the Oilers is our 8th and 9th hits for the day.
Yeah, and coming out of the 8 and 9 spot in the lineup, now the lineup turned over to Josh Schwerer. Schwerer now with the chance to play hero. He could give the Oilers a lead here in extra innings.
Josh has a single and a triple on the day. Troy Merriman for the Oilers over on third base. Takes the first pitch curveball for a strike. Josh hasn't seen a lot of pitches today. He's count tied 1-1. Josh steps back in here as pop up to right center field. Center fielder Byer ranges back, and that ball keeps going back. It's a nice job of the center fielder Byer going back on his horse there to make a play. The wind was keeping that in the air. Unfortunately, the Oilers do leave 2 stranded here as we head to the bottom of the 10th inning with the score tied 6-6.
The first thing I remember is the game that I love. A man on a diamond with a golden glove. Daddy with me in the cheap seats above, saying, boy, keep your eye on the ball. The crack of the bat, the stadium's roar. We were up on our feet for the tie-breaking score. I said, Daddy, I know what you brought me here for. He said, good, I hoped you'd hear the call. Life's a fast ball, bell tie, coming right down the middle. Don't stand there and let it go by. Swing hard and aim for the stand. My field of dreams was covered in stone, an old gravel parking lot next to our home.
Well, here we are, bottom of the 10th inning. A.J. Cecil back on the mound here for the Findlay Oilers. Up is number 15, Andrew Byer. Andrew made a nice running play to end that top of the 10th inning for the Oilers.
It was a really good play by the center fielder. Running back out towards right center field, making the catch over his shoulder. If he doesn't get to that ball, a couple of runs score for Findlay. So this game remains knotted up at 6th, now in the bottom of inning number 10.
A.J. Cecil ahead here early 0-1. Ball in the dirt. We did have a catcher's change there between innings as number 35, Miguel Valdez, is now in for the Oilers. It's a hard hit single back up the middle. It's going to put Byer on here. So Mary has a runner on first. Kyle, I bet you Steve Perrell didn't want to see Miguel Valdez get any game time today. It would have been nice to get him a couple days off here, especially with the doubleheader tomorrow coming.
Right, you always want to give your catchers some rest if you can. So not sure why Christian Smith was pulled. But Mary now in perfect position to try and win this ball game in the bottom of the 10th after the leadoff single, and the top of the order in Chris Scott up. Boy, it seems like the Marauders have had their top of the order up all game long, Joe.
Yeah, this will be the 5th plate appearance for Chris Scott in 10 innings. So he's been up a lot. Excuse me, the 6th plate appearance.
6th plate appearance, yeah.
So he has been up a lot in this game. Nice throw over there from A.J. Cecil. Over to first baseman Pete Burkett. Pete does a nice job of coming off the bag to field that.
And this will be a heartbreaking loss, Joe. Oilers had a 6-3 lead after the top of the 8th inning, allowed 2 runs to make it 6-5, and then the run in the bottom of the 9th tied the ball game. So this one that the Oilers were in control, but slowly let it get away. And now the Marauders in position to try and finish off this ball game.
Chris Scott at the plate has shown bunt the last 2 times up. You won't be doing that here with 2 strikes on him. Infield at double play depth up the middle. Troy Merriman at third and on the grass. And there's Cam Johnson, backs up, makes the play. That's a 4-6 put out.
The Oilers catch a break there. Ball to Cameron Johnson at second base. Flip to Schrock to get the first out of the double play. Runner heading into second base in Beyer slid late to take Schrock out, as runners are taught to do. But in college, you have to slide directly into the bag. You can't go to the left, to the right, or past the bag. And so there's going to be runner interference called, and the Oilers benefit as the bases are now cleared. 2 outs in the bottom of the 10th inning. Boy, that's a huge break for the Oilers.
And that's going to bring up number 3, Jason Shaw. A strike there from the first pitch from A.J. Cecil. A.J. quickly ahead here, 0-1. Ball in the turn, 1-1. Ball went through Miguel Valdez's legs there all the way back to the screen. With 2 outs here, Kyle, the defense can play a little bit farther back in the infield.
Right now it's just straight up defense. Make the out any way you can and get your offense up for the 11th inning.
Swing and a miss there from Shaw. Pushes the count to 1-2. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 10th inning. The Marauders have spread out 16 hits through 9 2/3 innings. When the game started, we didn't think we'd see that many hits combined between both teams. There's a sharp single into center field. Josh Schwerer comes in and fields it on 1 hop. So another runner on base here.
Yeah, now that double play is absolutely huge. I mean, the single there, and the Marauders would have been in business with 1 out, probably runners at the corners. But the Shaw single, now just a runner on first with 2 outs, and we have a pinch hitter for Mary.
That's number 7, Ethan Mead, who's already been up in this game.
Nope, they are brothers. Number 8, Seth Mead has played. So Ethan Mead and Seth Mead, I assume they're brothers.
Yep.
But
there's a high chopper to Kevin Schrock. Kevin comes in, makes a play, but Kevin Stroh pulls him off the bag. And that's the 2nd inning in a row we've had a real high chopper. That is a hit.
yeah, it seems like we've seen that ball a lot, Joe. A.J. Cecil throwing the slider, and he's gotten that high chopper, hits off the dirt in front of home plate, which appears to be packed pretty hard. And really nothing Kevin Schrock could do there. Fields it on a hop and throws to first base, but that's just sort of an unlucky break for Findlay. A.J. got the ground ball, but an infield single for the pinch hitter Mead, and now Brad Meyer up, who has 3 hits in the ball game. Runners now go to second and third on the pass ball from Valdez. So as much as we thought the Oilers had a break there with the double play, Marauders back in position to end this ball game. Chance for Brad Meyer to be the hero late for the Marauders.
So Brad Meyer on the day has 3 hits and a walk.
This game has been sort of a roller coaster, Joe. Just when it looks like someone has control, the other team comes back. You think about the 6-3 lead the Oilers had. Marauders closed that gap, then 6-6. Right when it looked like the Marauders were going to win the game in the bottom of the ninth, Chris Hayward makes a diving play in right field to extend the ball game. Again, the Marauders began this inning with a runner on, and a double play eliminated that threat. But now, 2 runners on, second and third for the Marauders, and they are again in position to win this ball game. A.J. Cecil on the hill for Findlay.
So runners on second and third here for the Marauders. There's a ball in the dirt from A.J. Cecil. It's a quick 2-0 count there from A.J. Cecil, and that's 2 balls that have been in the dirt that Miguel Valdez has had to go down and get. Troy Merriman at third base playing even with the bag. Defense on the infield playing back on the grass, however. Another ball in the dirt there that Miguel Valdez has to go down and get. And you wonder, Kyle, if this isn't Coach Mikowski and Coach Farrell pitching around somebody who already has a giant collection of hits on the day.
It appears that A.J. Cecil has just lost a little bit of control. You don't want to walk the bases loaded in this situation.
So that's 3-1 here. 18 hits on the day, 27 hits for the game combined between both teams. 6-6, bottom of the 10th inning, 2 outs. Runners on second and third here. A.J. Cecil with a walk to Brad Meyer. And that's going to load the bases here. Brings up number 4, Feuerbach, and this is his first at bat of the game, I believe, Kyle.
Yeah, Feuerbach entered as a pinch runner earlier in the ball game. So somebody that didn't get the start for Mary, but now finds himself in a chance to be the hero.
Swing and a miss on a pitch down in the strike zone from A.J. Cecil.
This is a situation, Joe, where you just kind of hold your breath on every pitch.
And Kyle, unfortunately, this is a game that the Oilers have gotten into the last couple years, and the outcomes haven't been in the Oilers' favor here. And Cecil again in an 0-2 count. Oilers are 2-2 season. The Mary Marauders are 1-5.
Right, you talked a little bit about last season. Oilers with 12 wins last year. You got to feel like they could have been around 20 or 25, been a 500 team had they won a few more ball games like they find themselves in now. Tight ball games late just often didn't go the Oilers' way last season.
A.J. Cecil sets and fires. That's a ball on the outside part of the plate that missed somewhere. We'll call it outside.
Just off the plate, maybe a ball and a half on the outside part of the plate, Joe. But a good pitch from Cecil, even if Feuerbach swings at that pitch, you can't do much with it. This ball rolled out to shortstop Kevin Schrock.
And that's going to be an error to end the game.
And this game ends the way it began, Joe. An error out at shortstop. And that is a very, very tough loss for the Oilers to take, who had a 6-3 lead in the 8th inning. And boy, it just turned around. The Marauders came on ferociously from the bottom of the 8th on and end up winning this ball game 7-6. Heartbreaker for the Oilers. We'll give you some more details after this break.
Ever since I was a kid, I dreamt of the day where I could lace up my spikes and step up to the plate. A pawn, the biggest spotlight, time to shine. No erase, the crowd is so loud. I black covers my face, I can't even think. My mind's taking me back in time. When I was 9, I was sitting on the pine. Was I playing for snacks? Was I playing for friends? Or did I understand? Are we playing till my end? Started getting serious, travel teams and all. Was I just a scrub, or could the kid really ball? The feeling of success, I couldn't get enough. Did I actually love this game, or was it just lust? I'm addicted to it now, every day in the cage. I could grasp the moment when I got to the stage.
All right, guys, back here after a crushing loss for the University of Findlay Oilers. Oilers go down 7-6 in 10 innings. Oilers scored 4 in the 8th to go up 6-3. And Mary Marauders scored 2 in the 8th and 1 in the 9th to tie it. On the day, starting pitcher Tyler Kennedy for the Oilers, 4-inning pitch, 3 strikeouts, 3 walks, 7 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs. The losing pitcher for the Oilers is A.J. Cecil. 2 innings pitched, he had a walk, 6 hits, 2 runs, and an earned run. For the Mary Marauders, starting pitcher Mayhoff goes 7 1/3, 10 strikeouts, 3 walks, 5 hits, 5 runs, and they're all earned. However, the winning pitcher, number 14, De Maria, 1 inning pitch, no runs, no hits, no errors. And Kyle, this is one of those games, unfortunately.
Yeah, when you look back at this game later on in the year and you see that loss, boy, that's going to be a hard one to look at. Oilers look to be in control from about the 5th inning on, tied the game up at 2 in the 5th inning, then took the lead at 6-3 in the 8th, but 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th, a run in the bottom of the 9th, and a run in the bottom of the 10th, and Mary will escape with a victory here.
Live in Auburndale. This is a game, Kyle, that I'd sadly say we're used to losing. This is not how you want to see things start out. The Oilers fall to 2-3. We will be back tomorrow with live baseball, hoping for a turnaround. Highlight of the day, Chris Hayward diving play in right field at the bottom of the 9th inning, and a Josh Schwer stand-up triple that scored a couple runs there earlier in the game.
Yeah, if you're looking for positives, Joe, I'd say it's the play of the guys coming off the bench. Pete Burkett came off the bench and had, I thought, a pretty good game. He played solid defense over there, saved a run with a scoop on a throw from Kevin Schrock, also had a single. And Chris Hayward, of course, saved the game at the time in the bottom of the 9th with a dive out in right field. But regardless, it's a loss, and I know Coach Peril isn't about moral victories. It's all about getting that W. Oilers just don't get it done here today in extra innings.
Yep, like Kyle said, we will see you tomorrow. We got a doubleheader tomorrow. 11 o'clock start time? 11 o'clock or 11:30. Find the information on our website. We will see everybody tomorrow live in Auburndale, Florida. Again, the Oilers lose 7-6 to the Mary Marauders in the bottom of the 10th inning. Till tomorrow.
Thank you for listening to this broadcast of University of Findlay Baseball. Catch the Oilers all season long right here on the Oilers Sports Network.
We want it all, it's what we're chasing. We want it now, we've been working too much to be patient. Yeah, success to me is motivation. It's time to get it. This is one for Oiler Nation. This is one for Oiler Nation. This one right here is for Oiler Nation.